Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to just briefly discuss the awakening process, understanding it in a linear thinking, understanding for the sake of mind. Okay, none of this stuff is linear. It's more lateral or multidimensional or goes in all kinds of aspects. But this is the way it came to me this morning, and I just quickly wanted to share some 6 talking points with all of you wonderful people. And everything has to do with building that new human being model, which we see in the top right corner. So we have the human being once again there and all the 4 centers. We are just taking 4 centers for the sake of the discussion right now. There are many more. We'll come to that probably in later podcasts. But right now it's coming to me in these 4 centers, vital 4 centers. The root chakra, the navel chakra, the heart chakra, and the third eye, which stand for survival, food, shelter, starting from the bottom, the creative identity, connection to others at the physical level, heart connection, empathy, and wound releases which come from the heart center. And the last and the top one, which we are considering for the purposes of discussion, is intuition, clarity, and awareness, which come from the third eye center. Now, I have stuck in the astrological houses on the right side of that human, which is second, fourth, fifth, and eighth house. So today, what are we talking about? We are talking about breakdown and breakthrough perspective in the process of awakening. So briefly, first, start point number 1. As we grow from childhood to adulthood, we bring a cocoon of structures in ourselves. It is how we learn from our surroundings, our family, our upbringing, culture, religion, teaching, education, friends, and associates. The earlier ones, right from the time we are little kids, wherever we are brought up. We create our own sets of beliefs as we grow older and mature of what everything and everyone mean to us individually. Remember, we are talking individually here. What the belief, society, culture, ideas, bias, opinions, etc. is my own, what we make as our own. And these are, mind you, very strongly held beliefs for every person, every single person. And we continue to live this until one or more are shattered. More typically, shattering of one has cascade effect and leads to shattering of all other centers. What do I mean by shattering here? It means situations and circumstances in our life shatter in one of the other centers we are talking about in that human being. Either we get a new clarity, intuition, or awareness in a mental structure by mental breakdown of old structures, as in we question something, that this is not the way things are, this is not the way things are supposed to be, there's something wrong in this particular set of ideas that I'm holding. And so there is a breakdown and there is a breakthrough. Breakdown is always followed by a breakthrough, by the way. So the heart, it may be either heart connection, someone we thought was close to us, someone we thought was near and dear to us, some loss of life, perhaps in our friends and relative circle, which is happening a lot since 2020. Or it may be in the creative identity center, whom we felt connected to, we are not feeling connected to any longer. Whom we thought was such and such is not such and such. The realizations can come in any of these centers, is what I'm trying to point out here. Or it may come with survival, food and shelter. Some people have lost their homes, jobs, businesses. Their sense of security and survival in the world is shattered. So wherever the shattering occurs, wherever the breaking down of that cocoon of structures which I have highlighted there, that cocoon has to first break down. Because that cocoon doesn't have a structure in reality. It's just a created cocoon we make for ourselves as human beings. All of us do this, which consists of belief, society, culture, ideas, biases, and viewpoints. We build that wall, that invisible wall around us, invisible boundary line of which consists of all of this, based on our upbringing wherever we are in the world. So this is the process of awakening. We come to point number 2 here. So point number 2, what is this about? This is the process of awakening. This is what characterizes most ones you have known or heard of who write books, teach wisdom and love, like Eckhart Tolle, like Sadhguru, or there are so many around popping the little bubbles of programming and stepping out into the vastness of reality, tapping into the primordial life force or life energy that they truly are. So once one of these chakras is liberated, so to speak, from its tightly held set of concepts and beliefs, it's just ideas really, what you were brought up with. Once that is shattered, it has a cascading effect up and down to all other centers. So this starts the liberation process, and liberation process is continuous. It has no ending point because the life energy truly seeks expansion. We'll come to that later. Jumping ahead of myself here. So all these people whom you see as realized, having near-death experiences like Anita Moorjani and all of these, many people are there now, teachers. They become the teachers of wisdom, teachers of love. They are tapping into the primordial life energy, which is common to all of us, by the way. And they are becoming of true service to humanity. That's the process of awakening. Remember, I'm trying to linearize here what is a non-linear process. Number three, what is tapped into is the sheer rawness of life energy itself. You got to understand this. If you're an awakened individual to a degree listening to this, you'll understand what I mean by rawness of life energy. Life energy is very raw. It does not have preferences. It does not have ideas and beliefs or a mentalized concept of anything, which has no preferences, no agenda in and of itself, other than love, compassion, creation, joy, and ever increasing desire pulse of expansion. It's a pulsating energy which is going in and out of everything, to the left and right of everything, to the up and down of everything, and everyone it touches. That's why we need to really consider the new human being model, which I have shown in the top right hand corner over there, because that's where we need to start working from consciously. That's what is true. That what is true to a human being. Think of that. Number four, good news is that this awakening can come from breakdown or breakthrough, which always leads to breakthrough of other centers. So there is like an entryway. It can be a single or multiple entry point. For example, one may have breakdown of a mental part, the blue dot, or at the heart level, or maybe their sense of security and stability is shattered like we spoke of, or their sense of identity, navel center is shattered, perhaps by a loss of powerful ties, loss of life of a close relative family member. And that becomes the starting point of their awakening, leading to free energy movement to all other points. This is automatic. Okay, this is automatic. You can't stop a life energy from flowing once it is liberated. It goes in every direction, every area of life, including your physical body. That's why people have many physical symptoms as well. This is automatic. I'm simply presenting to you an understanding here. Point number 5. This awakening has little something to do with astrology also. Now, this is what I have discovered in the charts that I'm doing with people, especially of light workers. For example, the earth signs will feel the energy more pulsing in the earthly realms. The Kundalini awakening, the physical body, the signs at the physical body level. The fire signs might feel it more in the navel center, the fire in the belly. They might discover new forms of identity which are more expansive, and they can move and work from there, teach from there. The water signs may feel it more in the heart center, more emotional, more about an expansive kind of heart energy, and teach about true love and compassion to humanity. The ones with air sign may do the same thing, but with new ideas, concepts, and better ways to accomplish things. The blue dot over there, the mind, the recalibration of the mind, the higher mind. So the higher mind, the higher heart, the higher identity, the higher sense of belonging all come into picture here. So there is an astrological element. This is what I had discovered as to how this breakthrough is received by the individual, depending upon what sign they are, what ascendant they are, etc., and which center becomes more active and available to the individual as compared to others. This is why awakening energy or the life energy is received by different astrological ascendants as different aspects of the same life energy. This is why we have different kinds of teachings. Some teach only from the mental higher mind level. Some teach from the higher heart level. Some teach what is your new identity. And you can see them everywhere if you are following the awakening trend, that is. So different awakened humans have a different signature to what they bring to the table. Point number 6. In the new energies now, in 2022 and beyond, this is occurring very fast. Now, this is where I come to the current times. It's also happening in the young people who are born in the shift. They might never even know of this process. They might never even see this video, but they are in it. As the energies of the planet, the blue and the orange arrows there in the human, which are coming from the top and from the earth, is itself changing. That energy has a characteristic of bursting these bubbles of created reality or concepts or beliefs. Reality is not a concept. Reality is not a belief. Reality is not a bunch of ideas that you have roaming around in your head. Reality is not a personal life story. Okay, it is much, much more vast than that. So it is happening anyway. So what will that look like? Person who may not even visit such a kind of video or never even believe in light work or any such thing. Okay. What will happen is this is bursting the cocoons everywhere now and will continue to. Although they may never write a book or preach or teach, they will begin to create a new reality by themselves. Doesn't matter which discipline or study or line they choose or profession they choose. But there will be a signature to it. What is the signature? It will be in serenity, it will be in compassion, it will be in cooperation and collaboration with one another, irrespective of race, culture, caste, creed, religion, anything, irrespective of the old biases that used to be in the world. And they will connect across the globe, and this will eventually lead to a proper civilization, not what we call it now. I shall end with this one part. Important to remember is this. There is no one way to awakening, and you might have heard that many times, many places. There are multiple ways, multiple choices, and each one is part of a holistic structure called life energy. We are all a part of that realization of this fact of being a part of a great mystery called life is what awakening is. One can be taken into other aspects. That is multidimensionality at its best. One aspect can draw from other aspects. Remember those four centers. Even if you just take those four centers, there are many others. But just taking those four centers and see the white arrows going upward and downward, it has a cascading effect. This is why one area of life affects the other. That is multidimensionality at its best. One epiphany or aha moment in a person's life can lead or cascade to all others. If one chooses to remain open to this life energy, that's an important one there because people tend to shut it out. Once there is an awakening, many people tend to shut it down because it's too big, it's too vast, it's too glorious. There is an element of fear which comes in there when they touch that kind of a rawness of life energy. So many people tend to shut down and say, I don't want anything to do with this now. This was too big. That too big becomes too fearful quite suddenly. But it will continue anyway. That's the way life energy works. They will come into that later, maybe in life. So an epiphany or an aha moment in one area or of life, as we see in these different centers, can cascade into others. Remember, life energy is raw. It's pure. It's pristine. It has no bias one way or another. It is just available and open all the time to all. This is an antithesis or opposite to resistance and contraction in any form, as life energy knows only expansive desires and free flow. I'll leave you with this much for now. Keep a watch on this channel. If you're listening to the podcast, you can see presentation on my YouTube channel. And as I receive more goodies or information or downloads about this, I shall share more with you. In the meantime, be safe, be awesome wherever you are, and shine your light. Take care, my beautiful friends. Bye bye.